Meanwhile, while western Ukraine was preoccupied with Galician affairs, in the Dnieper region, Kyiv, Pereyaslav, and Chernihiv, the attention of the princes during these years was mainly focused on the struggle with the steppe, which, starting again from the third quarter of the 12th century, was increasingly making its presence felt on the Ukrainian frontier. Sviatoslav of Kyiv called upon the princes to teach the Polovtsians a lesson. At his call, princes from neighboring lands, Volhynia, Pinsk, and even Yaroslav of Galicia Peremyshal, responded. But the Olhovaiki withdrew, because the campaign was headed south mainly in the interests of the Kyiv and Pereyaslav lands. They, on the other hand, suggested marching on did. After 5 days of searching beyond the Dnipro, Volodymyr of Pereyaslav, with the vanguard, encountered the enemy scouts. The Polovtsians, who had already considered all the princes and commanders their captives, fled after the very first strike by the Pereyaslav warriors. On the banks of the Oral River, the nomads suffered a crushing defeat. The Rus captured a great deal of loot and took 7,000 prisoners, among whom were 417 Polovtsian princes. The princes of the Severians, who had not taken part in this war, decided to venture into the Polovtsian steppes on their own. It is this campaign that is recounted in the old Rus literary monument, the tale of Igor's campaign. After leaving Novgorod-Seversky, Igor and his warriors witnessed a solar eclipse. The boyar said that this was a bad omen, but Igor did not heed the warning. "I want," he said, "to go with you, Rus warriors, either to break the enemy on the Polovtsian field or to lay down my life, or to drink water from the Don with my helmet." Meeting his brother Vsevolod, who had come from Kursk, on the banks of the Oskol, Igor turned south toward home. The Polovtsians united their forces to repel the attack. Igor's companions tried to dissuade him, but he wouldn't listen to anyone. And in the first skirmish, his troops dealt a defeat to the nomads. However, the next day, the countless Polovtsian army surrounded the Rus warriors and, cutting them off from water, kept up a fierce barrage for 3 days. The horses wouldn't obey their riders, and the noble warriors dismounted and fought side by side with the common soldiers. Vsevolod broke both his sword and his spear in the battle. Wounded, Igor encouraged his warriors, but the forces were unequal. Almost no one surrendered. The soldiers either fell in battle or were taken captive. News of the defeat was brought to Rus. Sviatoslav of Kyiv gathered the princes for a campaign, but did not dare to follow in Igor's footsteps. Then the Polovtsians laid siege to Pereyaslav and ravaged the villages near Kyudel. While in Konchak's captivity, Igor had his servant and a priest with him, and even entertained himself with hunting. But one night, he saddled a horse and in 11 days reached the city of Dynek. Igor's son Volodymyr remained in captivity for another 2 years. He married Konchak's daughter and, together with his uncle, Prince Vsevolod, safely returned home.